something that's really important that came out of that panel. Thank you so much, you guys, for sharing your thoughts and your genius with all of us. But something that I want to make sure that we walk away from here today is thinking about this is not just an exercise in exchanging ideas. This is actually for us to actually collaborate on solutions that work. One thing that we want to focus on is making sure that we're giving people who are doing the work on the ground and in communities an actual place to actually participate in making policies. They are not an afterthought. They are not the people that we consult with after we're ready to actually go to committee or go to a vote. They're the people we should be asking questions about to design these policies. So when we go back home, it's not just about saying we're working on it. It's about making sure that we're asking hard questions and asking who is invited to the table to design those solutions. So today, I hope you've heard that message throughout the day. But I do want to show you part 2 of the Broadband Advocate video that we were working on. For those of you who were not here this morning, this really was just a project to make sure that the general public, people who maybe aren't as dialed in on broadband policy, knew a little bit about the work that we do and found a place for them to actually onboard into this work. We are constantly thinking about feeding the ecosystem that we want to take from, so this is our contribution.
Tech policy isn't just a one-person issue or a one-organization issue.
And so it's critical for us to think about how broadband access impacts all parts of our communities, regardless of where we reside.
It's an area that requires a lot of different voices and a lot of different perspectives to really insert themselves into the conversation.
It's important that we have advocates who are expert in subject matter, but understand the important values that drive the daily lives of individuals.
The one take-home message I would want our communities to really understand is that those entities that have been trying to keep us away from engaging in society, if we don't have digital access, if we don't have the ability to actually organize online, then that fight back no longer exists.
Recently, I participated in a technical training and community network build in participation with the Internet Society, MuralNet, and the Sovereign Nation of Hawaii. As part of the technical training, we all built our own Ethernet cables, so I hand crimped this myself. Broadband access is really more of an issue of policy than it is technology. Anyone can build a network, and it's up to policy advocates to make sure that the landscape is conducive to those solutions.
When we're thinking about broadband connectivity, we really need to think small when we're trying to come up with big solutions. And by that I mean, look, our organization and I represent entrepreneurs in the broadband space, and these are folks who are actually out in these rural areas without connectivity, looking to make a difference. And rather than trying to force to serve rural America, let's focus on the companies, the communities that actually want to provide solutions.
I'm very proud of the fact that we have drawn so much attention to the importance of state leadership on this issue.
Like, these are multiple decade-long investments that companies are making. You have to be thinking 5, 10, 20 years down the road.
Our job is to help policymakers connect data and research with the actual legislation that they're working on.
It's the foundation of our democracy to make sure that you're holding your elected officials accountable and that they understand what their constituents want and need.
A measure of success will be seeing our state promising practices, seeing lessons learned from other states come through in legislation across the country.
People at every level of government, all through different communities, can make a difference.
Next Century Cities works to support local leaders in their broadband access initiatives and also to lift up the voices of folks that are doing really important work at the local level.
When I think of Next Century Cities, I think of preeminent institution and organization that is embracing this technology and finds ways to make it accessible to people and make their lives better.
I think of us as a very essential middleman between the work being done in Washington, D.C. and federal policy making and the rest of America.
There's a lot to be done in the country, but members of Next Century Cities already know what to do. And so a lot of the work is, of course, empowering them, but empowering other cities and other places to learn what already has been done and what can therefore be done.
It's really satisfying to see folks realize that there's power in connecting to their leaders. You know, when they talk about having a government of the people, by the people, and for the people, that's real, and it takes work. But if you take the time and the work to engage with your elected leaders, they actually will listen.
The success over the next decade means that everyone in America should be able to use high-performance broadband. Everyone.